How we doing, everyone? I'm Andy Malfrin. This is Drag to the Lake. Welcome to part 2 of my Casey Strain album review. I just finished up talking about Failure Will Follow, so go check that out. If you're a doom metal fan, I think you will be intrigued because I'm not really a doom metal fan, and I liked the album. So go hop into that. I'll put a link or whatever. Anyway, let's hop into this one though. The second album, first or second, I don't know which one it is. They just put two out at the same time. But today we're talking about Step Into the Light. And this is the last one was heavy doom metal. This is more of a traditional Acacia Strain release. And when I say that, let me give a little bit of context of my personal experience with Acacia Strain, because when I say traditional Acacia Strain release, I'm not saying that going off personal knowledge. I'm just saying going off what I've seen and stuff, because I'm new to enjoying the Acacia Strain. And I don't mean that in like a negative way. They just kind of like weren't for me. I always respected the hell out of them. Like I always tell this story on the podcast, which drops every Friday if you're interested. But I always tell this story on the podcast about how when I was at Warped Tour in high school, I saw the Acacia Strain. They had some crazy mosh call outs, things like that. They were very intense and very scary. And ever since then, they weren't always my thing, but I respected the hell out of them. But now that my metal interests are sort of segueing into a more broader spectrum, I'm now seeing the merit more so of the Acacia Strain, just allowing them into my life. And I got to tell you, I'm enjoying them. I'm enjoying having them in my life. This album was very fun. The tweet I forgot to send that sort of encapsulate this album, it sounds like if fucking, who's the big dude in X-Men, Galactus? You guys remember? He's like the guy who's the planet. I think that's his name. It sounds like if he wrote an album, because it sounds like some giant force. Now, maybe I should have had... Now, I'm looking at the album cover, and it's very nature-inspired and nature-heavy and stuff like that. So maybe I should have had something a little less robotic and fucking outer spacey. But it just sounds like the soundtrack of some evil force coming to take over the world. Like if the fucking Vikings had MP3 player, or no, if like Genghis Khan had fucking iPods, or he had the army like in Mad Max, you know what I mean? If he was like rolling in Mad Max and he's got some dude playing guitar with a big speaker bus, they would be playing this album through. It sounds like something you're going to play when you just decimate a civilization. It's so fucking intense and fucking heavy. I think maybe back in the day when my interest centered a lot more around pop punk and emo and screamo and stuff like that, this just, I don't know, maybe it was too daunting for me or whatever back in the day, but it's just chock full of like, if you like, because here's the thing. Everyone loves a good boohoo sesh. But sometimes, like, we're not all gonna go listen to like fucking Hawthorne Heights to get our boohoos out. If that's how you get your boohoos out, so be it. But not me. I like to get my boohoos out like a man. And sometimes men need something a little bit more intense. And I think Acacia Strain, it's not even boohoos per se. It's more like shifted to this nihilistic perspective of like everything's going to shit and good because fuck you. And it's like that's just like a fun vibe to sit in sometimes. I don't suggest only listening to the Acacia Strain. I suggest maybe working in a bunch, like some other shit to kind of change the vibe, because there's some bands that shouldn't just be like... There's some bands that shouldn't be like your background music. The Acacia Strain is for a type of mood you're in. Like, if you have a friend who his relaxing music is the Number 12 Looks Like You, talk to that friend. Make sure they're okay, because that's not a good place to be. And I think in a similar vibe, Acacia Strain, if their mood is just the soundtrack to the apocalypse, check in on them. But all jokes aside, it's very intense. It's very heavy. It's a very good time. I really liked it. A lot of the lyrics were... dude, what the fuck? I think the song, I listened to this album like 2 or 3 times, just to give you context, by the way, of my familiarity with this shit. I listened to, Teeth of the Cursed Dog, which just in that, just in that sounds like the name of like a fucking book you're gonna find in, what was the movie Drag Me to Hell, when they're trying to figure out how to get back at the devil or something like that. He's like, oh, if you look in volume 2 of Teeth of the Cursed Dog, you can find the recipe for a special potion to fucking, get your, I don't know, do something funny to finish that joke. Anyway, but like they had a line in that song where what the fuck, it's like our path will be lit by the burning bodies or something like that. You don't get better than fucking that, dude. It doesn't get better than that. That level of intensity and over the topness and just fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. But like I said, I don't suggest this to be your all the time music. But either way, Casey Strain, I am a fan. Like I said, I did not grow up listening to a whole hell of a lot, but now I'm possibly gonna go into the back catalog. And don't they actually sorry, no, I should wrap this up in 1 second, but I always wanted to give them a shout out because they're one album that was really popular. It's called Wormwood. Because isn't that a reference? I'm a big dork when it comes to CIA shit, because I think, everything's fake because the CIA, tricks us all the time. But CIA's just doing psyops, baby. What was it? Isn't that the Wormwood thing? I'm gonna wrap this up in a second. Yeah. That's right. There was a CIA thing called Wormwood, or that was just the miniseries. Whatever it may be, Casey Strain, they look like they got a lot of cool, dope shit for me to sort of dig into. They got a lot of albums, so I am happy to now call myself a Casey Strain fan, and I'm happy that you watched my video. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe. I'm gonna be pumping out a lot more shit in the next couple weeks, so let's hang the fuck out. I love you all. Be about it. Peace.